Hey guys, it's Matt. It's finally time for the big karma debate video where your comments or how you'll vote on this topic will be more important than the first part of my presentation here, which will be about 20 minutes or so. If you could hold back on commenting, I really would appreciate it. There might be a few things that I can put together here that you might not have considered. I know if you're Christian or Muslim practitioners of Islam, you're already typing saying karma. That's bullshit. Karma, come on, that's for the Buddhists and Hindus. It's bullshit. You're already typing. Don't already type. And if you're a practitioner of Buddhism or Hinduism, you're already typing, saying, "Well, of course, Matt, karma is a collection of what we've done in past lives." That I know if you're already set in your ways, I still ask you to please just hold off a bit. Well, Matt, what makes you an expert at potentially sharing things that we don't already know about karma? I didn't say I was. I didn't even take no comparative religion class at Penn State. It looked too difficult for me. I didn't want to get no C or D. I didn't take those classes. I'm not an expert, but I'm going to try to present both sides. And one side that many people have not fully explored is that it is a trick of reality itself. And this is what a lot of smart people believe. This is what the Tony I've cited many times believe, that it is a trick of reality itself. If you go into death fully believing in karma, there's going to be a lot of things you did in your life that you're not proud of, right? Come on, we're in this avatar. There's thousands of things, that we're going to be not proud of, and you're going to take any of that sort of belief set into death or belief system into death, you're gonna basically manifest it on yourself. A lot of smart people would say. So hold back a bit before you comment, because that'll act like a vote. People are already commenting, trying to tell me about a new Mandela effect. That ain't the purpose here. All right, said my piece. Let's move on. This, of course, is the famous scene from the beginning of Matrix 3, Mobile Avenue, or anagram Limbo, stuck in the netherworld between the Matrix and the machine world, where Ramachandra speaks to Neo. And the part about karma, Ramachandra says, let me try to do it better than that. That is our karma. And Neo says, you believe in karma? Karma is a word like love, a way of saying what I'm here to do. I do not resent my karma. I'm grateful for it. Sorry. I always found this part very interesting. Now, if you don't know the movie, 30 seconds or less, he's a program. He's not a person. He is a computer program, but he's presented as an Indian national. He's a program that's trying to get his daughter Sati from the machine world to the Matrix so she can go bake cookies with the Oracle, whatever. Okay, Matt, we know the movie. Move on. Okay. He's a program. He's presented as an Indian national talking about karma. So you would think they would be somewhat consistent with what a Hindu or the Vedic philosophy of what karma is all about. Well, why would he be consistent in that way, Matt, if he's a computer program? I hear you, but the Matrix itself is presenting him as an Indian national, okay? And he's talking about karma. They wrote that, not me. But he doesn't believe in it. It's just interesting. He doesn't believe in karma, because he clearly just says it. He goes, you believe in karma? Neo says, you believe in karma? And he just says, karma is a word. He just says it's a word. He doesn't believe it. Matt, he's a computer program, not a real Vedic. Okay, but he just says it's a word. He basically says, no, I don't believe it. It's a word, like love. So, is the Matrix here trashing the notion of karma? Maybe. Matt, what do you mean he's an Indian national? He's a computer program. He's zeros and ones. He's a bit of electricity or a bit of bad beef from Scrooge. He's a computer program. He's not an Indian national. But look, the Matrix is potentially saying something about karma. Well, why should we care what Lana Wachowski thinks about karma? I hear you. I just thought it was interesting. One more minute, we'll move on. I know he's a computer program, but what are they presenting? They're using an Indian national actor with an Indian. If he's a computer program, why does he carry an Indian accent? Why is his name Indian if he's a computer program? Ramachandra. Why isn't his name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the combination on Mel Brooks's luggage and Spaceballs. They're presenting a notion here, and to me, the takeaway has been karma is bullshit. It's a word. It's a word like love. It doesn't mean it's just a word. Doesn't past actions don't carry you forth. I always thought this was interesting, and I definitely wanted to make it part of this karma. Yeah, should we bow down to, well, Matt, whatever the Matrix is saying about karma, who cares what the Matrix is saying? Look, I don't think Lana, Laura, or whatever the brothers and sisters, I don't think they wrote it. They executed it. I think there's a huge amount of truth about what this reality is all about that comes from the 4 Matrix movies. Huge amounts. It's not Laura Wachowski or Lana and brothers and sisters. The creeps came to them and said, "Here, you're going to execute this," and it's too intelligent for those 2 brothers and sisters, if you ask me. It came from the system or the not ilk itself, so I do pay attention to it. Okay, people are at all levels here. Not everybody's an expert on this. Not everybody even knows what this is. So just 2 minutes. Those in the front rows, the old guard and Jedis, just 2 minutes to do the basics for the back of the classroom. Matt, why you always got to teach the back of the classroom? And what are we supposed to do? Why, I don't know, fold or make origami or something. There's only one teacher here. Teacher's assistant Stoltzfus and Lapp didn't come in today. So karma, very simple. From a Hindu perspective and a Buddhist perspective, that means billions and billions of Carl Sagan people believe in this, and their ancestors believe in it. The sum of a person's actions, good or bad, in this, and here's the key, put your hands out, and in previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in this or future existences. So what you do now, of course, affects your next life according to the... Look, again, I'm not an expert on where Buddhism separates itself from Hinduism here. What you do now affects the next life. Buddhism, what you do here affects what level you jump to, or all these different planes of existence in Buddhism, and the thousands and tens of thousands of recycling and reincarnation. And also, you're carrying all the shit that you did in past life. You stole that Playboy boy and you ran up to the attic with it. You got your KY. They didn't have KY. This was been a past life, so it would have been just regular old petroleum jelly. You carrying that sin, boy. You're carrying that. That's not a karmic weight, Matt. Okay, what real good or bad? You're carrying it now. Your past lives, and a lot of smart people would say, "Well, how are you supposed to get out of that if you didn't even know what you did?" There are some major issues with this presentation. Again, it just means, you did some real bad shit. If you were Vlad the Impaler in the last few lives, then it doesn't matter. You could just plant dandelions all day long in this life, and you still probably can't overcome all the shit you did in the past. And then smart people like Tony come along and say, "You believe this shit? You believe this? If you believe you're full of Jacob Marley chains, that's what you will carry into death, and that's what you'll manifest on your ass." Okay, get the easy one out of the way first. Christianity and the strict definition of karma, obviously not. No reincarnation, one life, one judgment. Although some go out of their way to say there's karmic principles. The reap what you sow principle is pervasive in Christianity. And here are some examples. Proverbs 26:27. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, in a negative way, I guess it's saying, it will roll back on them. You reap what you sow. Major phrase associated with karma. Psalm 7:16, the trouble they cause recoils on them. Their violence comes down on their heads. So, Matt, karmic, if that's a word, not comic, karmic principles in Christianity but things that, what goes around comes around. It will come back on you in this life. Islam and karma, no. All things come from God. If you're suffering, it's coming from God. It's what you need to do here. The ability to be redeemed comes from God. No reincarnation, and is not in line with traditional understanding or notion of karma. As far as I know, it's Buddhism and Hinduism alone. Of course, what's coming up in this section is a view that's not associated with any religion, but some people would say that a belief in karma is the ultimate Jacob Marley chain, the ultimate way to be bound to this plane of existence into taking it through and into the moment of death. So, these people would say, you get what you believe you're going to get. You're about 100 trillion times more powerful than you think, part of original creation. You will manifest on yourself through the moment of death what you believe you will get. So let's just say that that's true. Just go with it for now, that those people are right. What is going to be a bigger, heavier chain than the notion of karma? Going into the moment of death, is anybody going to be like, oh yeah, I lived such a perfect life. I'm absolutely sure I'm able to overcome all the weight that past life karma brought into this life. We're in this avatar. We're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to have, it's just part of the experience here. We've all weird thoughts and done weird things, and we try to do the best we can. But nobody's going to think, if you are a real believer in karma, you're not going to believe you did enough where you just wipe out your whole notion of karma. And on top of that, in Hinduism and Buddhism, you're taught that, potentially thousands, or I don't know how many they say, tens of thousands of reincarnations. You're going to know you didn't reach no bodhisattva point. How many people are going to go into their death? They're going to what did I do? They're going to, the last thing they think before they die is, I didn't do enough. They're going to bring it on themselves, these people would say. And it is a strong argument. I'll tell you what, and the reason it's such a strong argument from my perspective is because how hard this dark reality not nilk system, how hard it works to execute its trick, how hard it works to get up in your business every day and to get you to think the wrong thing and do the wrong thing. One of the main reasons, if I could say or narrow it down to say, why is this not nilk system in the screen working so hard to execute its trick, to get you to think the wrong things and do the wrong things and bring in regret and anger and jealousy? What's it doing all that for if your mindset at the moment of death has no weight? I know it's not a Christian perspective. Yeah, obviously it's not. Think of the countries where Buddhism and Hinduism dominate. In most cases, almost all cases, it is a very, what word do I want? Menial existence, menial jobs, working in the fields. So the Hindu is going to go, 50 years in the Union Carbide factory. Or they're going to think they reach bodhisattva state? They're going to really believe? They're going to think, this life, I didn't get it done. They're going to, right at the moment of death, they're going to think back of all the wonderful things they did in the Union Carbide plant, when the chemicals blew out the back. People just keeled over. And they're like, this lifetime, I didn't get it done. They're going to believe they didn't get it done. So are the Buddhists. They're going to know they didn't reach no bodhisattva. And based on a belief set that has been ingrained in these cultures and established over a lifetime, these people are going to go into the moment of death going, better luck next time. Uh-oh. They just manifested another go-around on the Monopoly board on themselves. And these Indian nationals coming back around again, they're not even collecting no $200. Isn't that what you get when you go around it's been a long time since I played that dumbass game. You get $200 or something like that to go past go. These Indian nationals ain't getting $200. In fact, it's the opposite. They're being born into a poorer situation than they were in the last lifetime. No matter what your belief set or what your religion is, or if maybe you don't like the term self-actualization, not a great term, but I believe in that concept, self-actualization, which I'll do like Ramachandra. Self-actualization is a word. It just means I came here to do what I'm supposed to do for my spiritual self and my soul. Self-actualization is a word. It means I came here to do what I came here to do, and there is some sort of winning, for lack of a better words, if we do what we came here to do. You know how I know that? It has nothing to do with any belief set, with any religion. You know how I know that? We go back to the same thing every time. It gives itself away. Its tactics and strategies of the screen, the dark reality, the minions, the Santa Claus Schwabs, they give themselves away because the entire reality is structured. Forget if you don't like the word, pick another word, but the whole reality is structured so you don't self-actualize. So you're too busy. You just get home from the Union Carbide plant. Like, I don't supposed to work on myself. I just want to have a beer. The kids screaming, shut up! Shut up! Kids scream, you just want to watch TV and inebriate yourself and just get by, get through the week. Get to that one horrible vacation where you overspend for the beach house by $5,000 and it rains every day and the cotton candy then poisons one of your kids. This whole reality is set up to get in your business so you don't ever have the time alone to think, to be quiet, to self-actualize, to better yourself. Because the reality system works so hard, that means there are real benefits and rewards for achieving certain states in yourself. The dark reality gives itself away because through busyness, distraction, and all that distracts and everything it does to you and everything it throws on you, it doesn't allow you any time to worry about yourself. It doesn't. It wants to keep you from that. And it'll do anything it'll throw all sorts of shit at you. And then if it's not all negative, some of it's positive. Oh, go watch Ryan Seacrest tonight. Take his pants down at the Academy Awards. It just throws constant shit. And it tells you, the way it operates tells you so much about yourself and what you're here to do. As I said last video, worry about yourself. It's not do what thou wilt. It's completely two different things. You can't achieve self-actualization in any other way but worry about yourself. And that's done through things that, from other perspectives, shed karma. So I didn't want to tell you my belief set, but I'll tell you my belief set. I believe karma is a Jacob Marley chain. Absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. Now, it might be real in that maybe in past lives I believed it and brought it on myself and manifested on myself, but I'm certainly not going to take any karma regrets. If I would have just done better, and Cush and Avery and, just done this or that, and oh no, I'm not going to take that into death. Absolutely not. Found this image again, which I showed you in a video on another topic, I guess just over a year ago. All my grandfather's knickknacks after he died related to his almost 40-year career at U.S. Steel. The old-fashioned stories that don't exist anymore. Right out of college, first job, U.S. Steel, big corporation, almost 40 years, retirement dinner. They give him the little Gruen watch. I mean, just trust me, this watch it's light, it's cheap. He had all his stuff. But this is how he measured his net worth as a man in life. His U.S. Steel knickknacks, all in one little leather-bound box. And he died in 96. My grandmother died 12 days later. She couldn't talk at the end. She realized mentally that he had died, and she just died. I mean, she basically just shut down and said, why should I continue? 12 days later. So I give Dad credit. He didn't try to run up there and rummage the house. Not like they lived in Bryn Mawr or Villanova. It was this little house, East Petersburg, up by Lancaster. They didn't have no Rembrandts hanging on the wall. Dad's like, I don't, let the family rummage through that shit. I don't know. We'll go up there in a few days or whatever. So we go up there, and there's not much left. Families rummage through everything. You know how families are, whatever. Again, there's nothing there of much value. At all. So, but think of it. Why would they left this? This is the most important thing. I mean, what was truly valuable to my grandfather in terms of his pride and joy as a man. And I'd like to call on Anne. Of course you call yourself a man. His pride and joy as a man and why didn't the family take this? Whatever. Family they had given paintings. And then after they died, they took them right back and put them on their own wall. I mean, okay, don't get me started. So I'm happy to have found this. But to me, in terms of what we're talking about here, relates to the reality trick. I mean, the whole reality is a trick. So why wouldn't I think karma is a trick? And just literally setting up an entire structure. Yes, he's proud of providing for his family. He's proud of having 3 kids that had grandkids. But really, the whole value as a man comes down to these trinkets in this box, which he saved regarding little tie clips, U.S. Steel tie clips. The same as the bottom, the Steelers logo comes from U.S. Steel. Cheap Gruen watch at a retirement dinner. All that old-fashioned stuff that just doesn't exist anymore with everybody just jumping. This was more, I mean, it's still part of the reality trick, but this is more true in my opinion. The reality trick evolves its technique. So you just have people jumping around jobs all the time. Every time I don't talk to most of my friends anymore, but they're all in like computer systems applications or implementing new hospital systems, and they jump jobs, and they jump jobs, and they jump jobs, and they jump. Nobody stays anywhere. And it's not that they're just I can get an extra $12,000 a year over here. So I mean it's just like what? So the reality trick evolves and becomes more sinister over time to keep people busy, and all that distracts. And this is just one more area, how the whole reality and culture evolves so people never find their true self or never have an understanding of what they're here to do for themselves, the things we talked about a few minutes back. And still people believe the secret societies are doing all of this. No, the secret societies is one group of minions amongst a million groups of minions designed to kind of distract you so you don't know what you're supposed to do here. But even this is a much more simple life, what I'm showing my grandfather here, but it's still part of the trick. His value was completely tied to his accomplishments in this company. And that's in many ways that's sick. That is sick. Now you understand it. You understand it. It's a simple trick everybody would fall for back then. He didn't have access to the information we have now. But to serve your worth as a man is about serving a corporate egregore entity. I mean, oh boy, and think of it. It was a trick back then, and it's evolved its trick. It's even more sick and sinister today. Back to karma, we've been talking a lot about Tears for Fears recently. Their most occulted or esoteric, I don't know what word you want to use, album. It's just strange. It doesn't feel like it's just from these two guys. It feels like, in many ways, it's something they had to do for the system itself. I talked about this Saturnine, Martial, and Lunatic album with the symbols of Saturn, Mars, and the moon, and of course one of the songs, The Lord of Karma. Now, it's nebulous, the lyrics. There's no reason to go over them, except one part I found interesting. He sings, Lord of Karma, down on, this is one of the main choruses, if that's a word. Lord of Karma, down on bended knees forever. Lord of Karma, down on bended knees forever. That kind of, to me, I read into that as this is a shackle. This is a chain. And just finishing up with this strange album from Tears for Fears. You have to be a huge Tears for Fears album to like this. It has like B-sides with the beat from Everybody Wants to Rule the World, but turned into a totally different song called Pharaohs. But it has, Schrodinger's Cat. I mean, look at some of the names here. Just the title itself of the album. Pharaohs, Deja Vu and the Sins of Science, The Marauders, New Star, Lord of Karma, Blood Letting Go, Always in the Past, Ashes to Ashes, Empire Building, The Way You Are, Empire Building. So it says here almost all tracks written by Orzabal, but it just reeks of the system. Again, they seem like nice guys. I like Roland Orzabal. I think they tried to come a little clean in the last album. But again, once you get under the dragon's wing this far, you're going to do some bidding for the system, whether you can make it out or not. All right, guys, so in your comments, I'll look to your comments. What do you think about karma? I'll just end on this image, which, of course, is the room here I'm making the video in. My take I think karma is part of the reality trick, and I think it could be the Titanic weighted down Jacob Marley chain that people take and put on themselves into the moment of death. That's what I believe now. Matt, you think everything's part of the reality trick? Yeah, I'm pretty much getting there. I'm pretty much getting there. Everything that comes from the system, the screen, the not milk, through media, of course, it's all going to be part of the coordinated trick. Well, how did Dances with Wolves make the big screen then? If I had to, I don't have a good explanation for that, but if I had to guess, or if I had to put an answer here, they had to, in some way, maybe they took too big of a bite of the shit sandwich and they had to give back or something. I don't, because I think Kevin Costner's just completely part of the system. I think they had to give back. I think every so often they have to give something up. Man, that's stupid, Matt. You got to do better. I don't know. It's complicated, but I believe that. It's almost like contractually or something. There's a set of rules that these creeps have to operate by. I believe that. Well, how would you know, Matt? I don't know. But I observe their behaviors and their actions and their tactics and their strategies very carefully. Okay, I don't never got the information in the orange section of the parking garage from Mr. Beeks. I told you it's all from observation. There's no paranormal insider. It's all from observation and then assessing that things must be working in a certain way because everything or all the tactics that the screen and the system puts forth all point that things must be operating this way. And then lo and behold, about 5 years ago, we got out of that breadcrumb chase and started to actually apply that to learning about ourselves, which is, that's like the breakthrough moment. Of course, it's going to give you everything it can give you your whole life, so you just chase the screen and chase more yellow breadcrumbs. That's all it wants. My thoughts on Tartarian, mud flood. It's all part of the reality trick. I don't care if it's physical or not. I think to assign something as physical or heavy is falling for the trick. It's an illusion. The whole world is an illusion to keep a real soul to be engaged in things that doesn't benefit it. That's the role of the minions and the creeps. So guys, I'm just looking at this image here. Behind Bootsy, the window goes up. Zara usually dominates and takes over. Bootsy tries to get a little too close to the window, and then they'll have a little scrap. Zara's she's like a supermodel, biatch. I mean, she's just real high-strung torty and doesn't get along with she's very, very smart, doesn't get along with the dumber cats, Boots and Puss. They're nice, and I love them. We just had to take them in from the foster home, but they're not that smart. But Bootsy doesn't, she doesn't back down. I mean, she'll go up to that window, doesn't care if Zara's there or not, and sometimes gets smacked off, but she's got cojones at Bootsy. Behind Bootsy is the laptop where I write whenever I have to write out something I talk through or write the book. It's got Windows it's got Windows 2000 on it. I'll show it to you sometime. It boots up faster. Well, the boot ups have improved. I mean, I have the PC under Bootsy. I think the PC under Bootsy, it's 9 years old or so. That laptop is almost 20 years old or more. That it takes like 12 minutes to boot up, where the old stuff just boot up quickly. It was all simple Windows programs, and it hasn't been on the internet hasn't been connected to the Big Brother system or the sentience of the Skynet for 15 years. And so it just, it's the one place I can type and use an electronic device where it doesn't feel like Big Brother's watching me type in real time. I love booting up the old laptop and typing out a segment or adding to the book there. I'll show it to you sometime. Windows 2000. And at the bottom, it constantly says software updates are available. Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd like to connect, I should connect it to the internet. Matt, don't ever do that. I would never do that. But if you connect it to the internet sometime, I'm sure you could get software updates from Microsoft on Windows 2000. Anyway, guys, thanks for commenting on what you believe karma to be. Thanks.